Very, very good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the Art of Living and the Corporate Desk, a very warm welcome to all the participants of the IXL Holistic Wellbeing Program from all over India and Nepal. We have about 1,500 participants from Meghalaya to Kutch and from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And I'm also very happy to share that we have about 350 participants from Nepal. A very, very warm welcome to all of you. We are sure that you're all enjoying your experience with our very caring and capable teachers. I like to make a special mention here that, we have the youngest participant, Radhika Prandanji from Trivandrum, who's 86 years old. She's an entrepreneur. She started a bag manufacturing unit on her own, and then it grew into a supplier for big companies. And today she is also helped by her daughter. So very warm welcome to the youngest entrepreneur. Now for the most eagerly waited part of this 4-day program, the panel discussion, Atmanirbhar MSME. I think more than any other time in the past, the MSME sector is staring at a very challenging situation, very challenging times for them. Uncertainty is the new normal. Revenue have been badly hit by virtually no manufacturing activity for the last 2.5 months. Cash flow problems, low availability of workers, especially the migrant workers, piling up of inventory, challenges in transporting goods and making deliveries. I think the woes are endless. Now, how can one cope with these and overcome them? The government has also announced a number of schemes to support the MSME sector. So what are these? To enlighten all of us, we have on our panel today very eminent personalities from the Indian business and industry. We then have Mr. K.E. Raghunathan, whom I know for the last 20 years or so. He's an entrepreneur, and he's also the in the Central Board of Trustees of EPFO. He's a first generation entrepreneur in the field of solar energy since 1980. In fact, I still remember about 25 years ago, the first solar lamp that he manufactured. Immediate past president of the All India Manufacturers Association. He was awarded the best small scale industrialist in 1995 by the government of India. He presently serves as the Board of Trustees of EPFO. He's a National Committee member of AICTE on internship and also a member of AICTE Southern Regional Committee.
Thank you, Krishnan. It's always a pleasure meeting you and talking to you.
Now I would put the next question to Mr. Raghunathan. Mr. Raghunathan, we have the COVID here. I'm sure there is going to be an end someday. I don't know how many months, that's uncertain, but certainly there's going to be an end to this and things are going to get back to normalcy. So what should be the way forward for an entrepreneur beyond COVID?
First, my pranams to Gurudev, my namaskaram to co-panelists, and my greetings to the viewers. Let me share with you, I've been an entrepreneur myself for almost 3.5 decades. I never worked for a company. I only experienced self-taught man. Any challenge when it comes to us, what do we do first? First, we accept, we acknowledge, then we take a pause, we study the choices and the options of solution, then we plan out the strategy, and then we prepare ourselves, and then we execute it. That's a normal way of doing it so that there is an impact and there is a solution. In the case of a COVID, let's understand that it is very uncertain at the moment. You can cross a river only when you know the depth of the river by which means you want to cross. For example, if you have a 5 feet depth water, you can walk it over. If you have 20 feet, then you have to swim. If you have 50 feet, then you need a boat. Then if you have 500 feet, you need a ship. And if it is much more deeper and turbulent, better don't venture. My good friend, Mr. Keval, very carefully worded and said, how do you compartmentalize the problems? He was absolutely bang on that. And I would divide it into finance, market, technology as the issues. When you talk about finance, go further deep into it in terms of debt, in terms of equity, in terms of receivables, in terms of payables. In terms of market, the price is not going to be the same hereafter. So you have to look at geographical expansion, methodology to reach out, digital platforms being put into use. In terms of technology, then product features, manufacturing challenges, all this will come. Stay focused, never lose the hope. Anurag started with a very positive note. When the going is tough, the tough gets going. Invent a new thought process, be fearless and keep calm and avoid hearing negative injections into your brain. But more important is, how do you maintain profitability hereafter? To maintain a profitability, in my opinion, practice modernization, optimization, digitalization, and innovation. If you take the first letters of this, you will end up with modify. MODI, modernize, optimize, digitalize, and innovate. And that's very important for you to do now. And the profit comes with innovations. Profit comes with reaching out to the new customers. And that is more important for you to reinvent yourself. The business activity is like a human body. And understand the brain is a strategy, which is invisible. The blood is the money, finance, which is invisible. The heart is the entrepreneur, which is invisible. What is visible? Your eyes, which is opportunities. Your ears, which are feedbacks. Your nose, which is the competition, which smells. The tongue, which is the sales. The hands, which are employees. The legs, which are customers, because you go and chase them. Remember the vital elements in you, hone them, perfect them, go forward. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Very, very beautifully put. Especially, I like that modify part of yours. So very important today. Now, I would like to, ask the next question, Mr. Raghunathan. What should the MSMEs do to increase their profitability, capture the market, and scalability and sustain to win over the others? There's so much of competition that we see.
See, first of all, what is profitability? It either comes from the higher income or it is coming from the lower outflow. In my opinion, after the COVID, when the normalcy returns, if you had sold your product for, let's say, 100 rupees, you will not be able to get more than 70 rupees as a realizable value hereafter. People will come and tell you, I can only give you 70 rupees, take it or leave it. Now you have no choice. You have to take it. So you have to look at how do I get that 70 rupees to 80 rupees or 90 rupees or 100 rupees. Then you have to do product engineering, reworking again. Hereafter, there will be no product which will only deliver single usage. Take it from me. The mobile phone, as an example, was only meant for a communication. But today, a mobile phone is sold in the market not for the sake of communication, but it is sold for the speed of accessibility, camera, and things like that. In my own product, the solar lamp for that matter, it was only a single usage product called solar lamp. Now, I believe I will not be able to make profit hereafter by selling it only as a solar lamp. So now I have made a product called 3-in-1. I have a small fan attached to it. I have a mobile phone charger attached to it. And I also have a flashlight attached to it. If I use multiple features in my product, I will be able to get slightly better price, slightly edge over the competition. That is my first point. Second point is, if you want to reduce the cost, you have to increase the volume. Now, how do you increase the volume? In my opinion, after the COVID's normalcy, in the next 1 year, you will find a lot of micro, small enterprises, mergers and acquisitions will happen. many small things will start uniting to become slightly bigger. If I am making a product 2000 pieces a month, and if you are making a product 2000 pieces a month, and both of us by individually selling do not make profit, we will now join hands together, merge ourselves, and we will make 4000 pieces and make profit. These kind of innovations of togetherness will step in, and you must keep that options open, and you must share and eat the benefits. You must care and be enjoyable to the prosperity. These are all will become part of the life, and reduce the cost. Don't overstep your limits, and keep the liability on interest payments as minimal as possible. Don't ever forget, borrowing is not the option to run the company. If Mr. Keval is speaking that, he is speaking because of his entrepreneurial experience, because of his global experience, and because of his heading an enterprise which is funding the SMEs more. I think you have to capture that aspect. Running a business with borrowed money does not give you any time and happiness. For a honest borrower, the day when the money comes into his hand from the borrowed bank, the sleep is gone. For a honest loan taker. So please be careful, increase your product base, increase your specification, invent a new technology, and go for it in a big way. Thank you.
Thank you.